Hi, this is Gregory Brown with RMUnicorn, the Ruby Mendicant University video log. I'm going to apologize in advance today because I'm starting to get pretty exhausted. We are at the end of our September session, so we're doing reviews of students' projects and exams and things like that. And this is the most tiring part of RMU, but we've already graduated 5 new alumni from the September session, and that's great, and hopefully we'll have a few more within the next couple days. So we've been working our way through those 5 factors for improving education that I had set up last Sunday, and today I wanted to talk about free availability of course materials and of basically the open processes that are involved in the educational stuff that we're doing. So that's something that I feel is really, really important, and I didn't really think about how similar the idea was until someone pointed out today, but there's something called the Khan Academy, which is awesome. It's this guy who does these free video, basically video lectures on math, and does it in a very simple and easy to understand way. And he's made like hundreds of these videos. They're all available in one place, and I guess he's got a nonprofit set up now, and even I guess Bill Gates has decided to enroll his kids in Khan Academy, which is amazing. I really think that this is sort of the future of things. And it looks like he's releasing all that content under Creative Commons share alike and attribution, which is like a standard copyleft free content license. I really think things like that are amazing, and I think that we should do a whole lot more like that. Another good example is MIT does their open courseware and has a lot of their courses, at least videos of them online, and a lot of times the course material. I think this is really important, and I think it should be sort of the default status for every sort of public education that's out there, and also private education. But I think that what I would like to see more of is not just free educational resources, but sort of the blueprints for teaching courses on your own. And that's where I would like to make RMU very useful. So, you know, these are programming exercises for Ruby programmers, and I'd like to release as many of them as possible, and I would also like to sort of release the outline of how we put the course together and the sort of things that it's meant to evoke from the students and that sort of thing. So I would really like to make it so that pretty much if someone wanted to run a similar course, either live, in person, or over the internet, that it would be possible for them to do so. Of course, I feel like we're doing something unique at RMU that sort of hinges on my personal teaching style, but at the same time, I think that people can draw inspiration and make use of these exercises in some other settings as well. I had hoped to actually get some of our content released today, but unfortunately I have the policy that our students come first, and I spent the few hours that I did have this morning working with the students. So I've not released anything yet, but I think that we'll get some resources released on Monday for sure. So what I plan to release right away are several exercises from the August session, and probably a couple of the September exercises as well. I plan to release both of the final exams. In August, the final exam was for people to implement a Ruby implementation of a Go board that implements the rules of Go, which was actually a really, really hard problem. And this year, this month, the final exam is something that has to do with building a data table implementation. So I'll release both of the descriptions of those along with whatever solutions the students will allow me to share. And I'm not sure that we'll get commentary out right away, but we'll eventually release some commentary about those things as well. I also would like to make publicly available the wide array of different IRC and Twitter bots that my students have made which integrate with all sorts of different services. And we're going to try and get that going for whatever students are willing to participate. We'll get those released as well. So there's going to be a lot of content coming out. Now, as for the actual tools that we're using, which I think is another important part of this stuff, that really educational tooling, it's amazing to me that it's not open source and free software by default. I think that this is one place where we can really band together, even with different organizations, and share common tools for classroom administration and just all sorts of different learning tools. I think that open source has been making good efforts there, but I think that the people who are doing any sort of training or educational programs really should start using these things and improving them. So we plan to release all of that stuff, but our applications so far are in a pretty transitional state, so it'll be a little while before we get those out there. And then within the next few weeks, I will definitely write something up describing the way that we teach these courses, because I would love, absolutely love, to see this technique applied to some different topics, either to other programming languages or to other technical concepts, or even trying it with non-technical concepts. I would love to start getting some information out there to teach the way that we're teaching, because I think that it's had fantastic results with the people that we've tried it with so far, and that I think that we could probably see it work well in other places as well, but it would be good to try that out and experiment with it. So the reason why I think that free availability is so important is because education is a field in which we don't really need to be reinventing the wheel. If there's a good way to teach a technique, we should be doing it, and ideally speaking, we should be continuing to press forward so that as we continue to run these exercises, we change them, we tweak them, we make them better, we do different exercises. I think that reusing material sort of from a stock set of information that you don't share is one of the cheapest tricks that educators tend to do. In a sense, because they don't share their material, they can repeat it again and again and again, and basically not add any value. They're basically just rerunning the blueprint with other people. I think it should be a more living process than that. And the good thing is that the sort of exercises that we've been developing are ones that don't have that characteristic to them, because they involve so much individual effort and allow for individual differences. So I think that we're onto something with that, and I'm hoping to generalize it from our very specific way of using it to another field at first, and then maybe generalizing it as far as it'll go. So I think that these things are really important, because at the very least, it's not sufficient simply to teach, but to give people the tools that they need to teach and to learn as well. And this makes it so that it really levels the playing field, so that not only a few special people are able to run something like this, but that anybody could at some point. So I think that's what we're going to do that's a little bit different than some of the free resources out there, is that I think that in time, with enough effort, we can make it so that these programs are repeatable by others. And I think that that will really make a big difference. And that, in combination with a large number of actual teaching opportunities, things that resources we've created and things like that, as well as the tooling that we've been building. If we get all that out there, we're going to be producing an incredible amount of value. Now, the one other thing that I want to make sure that we do is, as of right now, we have a total of 10 people who have gained alumni status at RMU. I expected that number to be higher by Monday. All of those people have built open source projects that are pretty interesting. They're beginnings, because they're mostly 3-week-old projects, but they are things that are very promising, and I want to get a spotlight on those. So Jordan and I will hopefully try to launch the alumni page in a sort of beta setting within the next maybe few days, so that we can start getting those projects listed out there. getting some attention for our students, and then getting hopefully some more collaboration on those projects. So it's not just the actual teaching that's going on in terms of releasing learning resources. It's releasing resources that allow people to teach, releasing tools that help them teach, and then releasing the products of what has been learned. So when you combine all those things together, I really think that over the next year or so, in which we plan to reach 200 students, RMU is going to produce an incredible amount of value, and I see no reason why this can't be expanded out into other fields and other areas, and how if we start doing this, I really believe that the world is going to be amazed at how much we can produce. So that's enough for today. Tomorrow I will talk about how important it is for educational institutions to be self-sustainable, and that's something that's still a big challenge for me, but I'll at least share some of my ideas about that. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.